How's it going, everybody? K-Wolves here. In today's video, we'll go over a little bit of things that I like to do to try and maximize the amount of favors that I can collect in a little bit of a shorter period of time. Now, this video overall will be a little longer than the other ones I've done, so just bear with me if you would. Now, if you've seen my first video, you've seen that I'm able to get 6 of the tunes through a single Horgon hunt. So obviously that will be part of what we're doing today. So we will just kind of run through our 6 tunes here, get that done, and then we'll move on to the next event that we're going to do. And all of this can be done in roughly 45 minutes, give or take. Alright, so here we go, starting with our first character. And we're going to be on path number 1. And there was Kiwi, it looked like. The good thing about this is that these locations never change, and the 2 paths that I take always stay the same as well. Now on either path, once you get up to this mountain here, that's kind of your halfway point, so it's going to be 5 out of the 10 that you have to collect. Now towards the end of all this, I'll show the floater I'm using and everything else to help achieve being able to get all 6 of these through here. Just in case there's, people who haven't seen the first video, which I will also link in the description below. And then I have friends as well who have made videos on doing the Horgon hunt and other things for the summer event that I'll link below as well. Alright, let's grab this last one and then we'll change characters. Alright, pick up the hunt. Use our triple. And path number 1 again. Now make sure when you're trying to collect the Horgons that you actually come to a complete stop, because if you don't, then it will stop your progress and you will have to start trying to collect it all over again. Alright, so we hit our halfway point on this one. So as we're going through and doing this, by the time it's all said and done, I should have earned roughly 900 some odd favors. It'll be a little bit over 900 altogether. And that's for, 30 to 45 minutes worth of putting in time on the summer event here. I think that might have been Megla behind us back there. Always looking like a little alien. Now, what I like to do is when I finish with that particular character, I'll just leave them at wherever I ended at. Because I've, for the most part, know the paths well enough that I can do them in reverse without, going to the wrong one the majority of the time. Still do occasionally, but that's just part of it. Alright, so it looks like we're going to be on path number 1 yet again. Now for doing this, I'm using the RPG control scheme. I know other people like to use the shooter mode. You can also, if you get good enough at it, set it so that you just push the button to turn off your floater, and you can just kind of, instantly stop and drop right above wherever the horizon's at. Now for me personally, it doesn't work very well because it messes me up more than it helps me, but I know there's some people out there that it'll help tremendously. Coming up on our halfway point here. And as you just saw, that was what I was talking about. If you don't come to a complete stop, it won't allow you to grab the Horgon. Well, so far every one of these have been on path number 1. Makes it a little easier to not forget which path you're on. And halfway through. For those who are watching, if you have any tips or tricks that you use for trying to collect as many of the favors as you can, make sure you leave them down in the comments below so that others can see it and try to see if that works for them as well. So we want to make sure that we, share all these tips and tricks with as many people as we can to, help them make sure that they can get as many of the favors as they want and or need. Because there are a lot of different good things in the summer event store, whether it be, ground or space Barbie stuff. There's some different, some of the different kit modules, and the original Ryzian kit frame is really good to have. And if anybody has any other ideas for any of the videos they'd like to see, I can try to do those as well if you leave them down in the comments. All right, so this one's going to be path number 2 finally. All right, and we are halfway through. And our last one on this character. And I believe this will be our 6th character here. And this one will be on path number 2 as well. Whoops, wrong spot. In my first video I made, I will link that, like I said, in the description below. Oh, went in the wrong spot again. But in that first video, which I'll link below, it's going to have timestamps for the 2 different paths. That way, if you need to try and watch it a few times to learn the paths and help memorize them and everything, then that'll help with that. And with as fast as I've been able to actually log my characters in this time, I might have been able to get 7 of them through if I didn't mess up a few times here. Because it takes about 2 minutes or so, maybe a little more, to be able to get 6 of them through, so, or per character at least. Did it give me? Okay, it did give it to me. Alright, let's go grab this last one. So about a minute left. So yeah, if I wouldn't have messed up a few of those, I probably could have got a 7th one at least halfway through, I know. So now we'll go ahead and we'll do site to site and beam to the resort. And we're going to do the flying high. Now with 6 characters, obviously that's 50 per flying high. So that should give us 300 favors. And then for each character that we got through the Horgon hunt, it should have been 100 favors. So 600 plus the 300 obviously gives us about 900. And as I mentioned before, it'll be a little bit over 900 because every Horgon that you pick up ranges from like 2 to 5, I think, for how many favors it gives you for each one that you pick up. For anyone who hasn't done the flying high before, you have to go through 3 of the different courses in order to be able to get full credit for it, or any credit really. So you pick it up at the event coordinator where you saw me at the beginning there. Then you go fly through your 3 courses, fly back to the coordinator, or beam back to the start point, however you want to do it, and turn it in. And like I mentioned before, this video will be a little longer because I want to show you about how long it takes to go through and do all of this. Because on average, it takes me about 35 minutes or so. There might be people who can do all of this faster, there might be people who can do it slower, but I think it's still a good piece of information for people to be able to see. So we still have 8 minutes left to complete this one, which it shouldn't be a problem for anybody to be able to complete 3 of these courses within the allotted time, even if you have the slowest floater. Alright, since I'm so far away, I'll beam back to the resort. And we'll go turn this into the coordinator here. And 50 favors. Now earlier I said that I would leave my characters at wherever they ended at on the Horgon hunt. And that is the case, but if I plan on, continuing on to try and get those extra favors by doing the flying high like this, then I will beam them back to the resort like this. And I'll pick it up and everything. And now what you can do, you can kind of look around and see if there's any close by, of course, but if you look at your map, you'll see the yellow circles that show you where they all are. So if you find a group of them kind of grouped close together somewhere, like if you find them close by the camp over here, or if they're over this way by the promenade, then you can just beam to those locations and pick them up a little bit quicker maybe. But like I said, they give you roughly 10 minutes, it looks like, to go through and find 3 of these to fly through. Makes it pretty simple, I think. So I will go to Sovek's camp back here, since there is one right there beside it. Now, I don't know if, doing that is any faster, spamming my spacebar to kind of get that little speed boost like you're trying to go upward. But I try to do it and see if it helps. I feel like it makes me go faster, but I have no evidence to prove one way or the other, so I apologize. I know sometimes going through here doing this that I go through them so fast that the markers don't even pop up. All right, so we need one more, so we'll go over here to the rope bridge. All right, let's go get our third character for this. It would be nice if we could just hail the mission coordinator from wherever we are. That way you don't have to transport all the way back to here or fly back here, pick it up, and then, go back to the other side of the map. All right, so we got one of them close by. Got the rope bridge. What else do we have? The only other one I see, it looks like, is back by Sovak's camp. So let's go get that one. Now, one of the good things about being able to do the flying high event is that every 15 minutes, you can run through it again with each character. So 15 minutes from the time you complete it, you can do it again. So unlike the Horgun hunt, which only comes around, I think it's every hour and 20 or 30 minutes, something like that, you can do this flying high every 15 minutes. And if you have this many characters going through it, by the time you finish your last one, it's almost time to start the next one all over again. So if you really wanted to, you could use that and start farming up some of the favors as well. But I like to take my time to combine the both of them together and Now, the good thing about going through and collecting favors like this is, at least for me and a lot of other people I've talked to, is that when the summer event is over, you can actually turn around and sell these on the exchange at any time. But once the summer event's over, they will sell for a little bit more because obviously the event's over and you can't get them anymore. And a lot of people like to stack them up and sell them. They get all that EC and then they can use that to buy, premium ships from either infinity boxes, promo boxes, whatever it may be off the exchange. Now, for me, that's part of my plan, but the other part is I like a lot of the different stuff in the summer event store, so I want to get some of the, outfits, some of the kit modules. Definitely need to get the Rising kit frame for almost every one of my characters still, because this is only my second or third summer event I've participated in. So I am a little behind everybody else. Alright, I think I have one more to do. Oh, looky there. Got an accolade while we were doing that. I believe this will be the 6th and final character. Alright, so we got 2 of them close by. Let's see, do we have the one at the volcano? We do. That'll be one of our 3 right here. Alright, let's turn this in. And then I'll swap characters one more time just to make sure, but I believe this was the last one. Nope, apparently that was not the last one. Okay, so we have 2 over by Sovak's camp area. So we'll go ahead and do this one going around the volcano real quick. We'll go back here and do this one in the back first. All right, let's transport back to the resort. All right, so that was all 6 of them. And we're looking at roughly 35 minutes or so, give or take, from start to finish. So roughly 35 minutes, you go from the Horgun hunt, getting 6 characters through it, and then doing flying high on all 6 characters. And again, every character through the Horgun hunt is 100 of the favors. Every one of the characters that goes through flying high is another 50 favors each. So add that up and it should come out to over 900. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you can go through and redo the flying high one every 15 minutes on each character. So if you have, 30, 45 minutes, you can either do it the way I'm showing you, or you can just go through and keep doing flying high over and over again if you really enjoy doing that. To me, those are the 2 easiest ways to get the most favors. And again, there are going to be plenty of people who have their own ways and methods of doing this. And I encourage everybody to put those down in the comments below so that everybody can see them. Now, for me to be able to get all of these characters through the Horgun hunt, and again, this was in my first video, but in case people don't want to go back and watch it, that's fine. I am using an impulsive floater for every single one of these characters. Now, these are the ones that cost 1,000 of the favors, so they're not easy to get, but you can get them if you put in a little bit of time for it, and it'll make this whole process so much easier. Now, these being the fastest ones, they give a plus 70 flight speed. The other thing I use is the Ryzian Tribble. And if you notice, it says during the summer event, plus 5 flight speed to self and friends, and 0.05 inertia to self and friends within 4.5 meters for 3,600 seconds, or 1 hour. And I don't know how well you can see it, but there is a timer underneath this Ryzian Tribble up here that equates to that hour time. So it'll count down from that hour until it runs out. So if you have any questions or have any comments or anything like that, please leave them below and I will answer as many of them as I can. And I hope that this has been helpful for you. So thanks for watching. and live long and prosper.